So if Josh has the opportunity, he does see an opening, he might run it in, which you might do in any other situation as well, right?
Yeah. He can throw it. That's the RPO, I guess.
I get you. And then just on that as well, not having linemen go downfield on that obviously is a big one. I know you're near the goal line, so it's a little different situation, but how important was that to make sure that those guys, are all understanding what the situation is to make sure that they don't, cost you there?
Yeah, I mean, that's always the tricky thing there. The longer you hold on to it, the more you have an opportunity for that to happen. I'm just glad it didn't.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Hey, Brian, how are you?
Hey, Matt. Good. Busy.
What's that?
I said I'm busy, just like you guys, I'm sure.
I can just imagine.
Yeah.
You watch Cole go out there. Obviously, you knew being a game time decision, he was going to have to gut it out a little bit. A couple of those plays, kind of having to get helped up. And, what did you see out there with not only that he played and was able to play, but to be productive and make some key game-changing plays?
I mean, I could go on and on about Cole Beasley and what I feel about him and what he's done for our football team. I'm not surprised. He's a tough, smart, competitive player for us, a leader, and willing to do whatever he can do to help his football team. And certainly glad and privileged to coach him. And he's on our football team. He's been really good for us. Kind of been under the radar for many years of his skill set and what he can do, but just have so much confidence and trust in him, and really wouldn't expect anything less from someone like him.
And then in terms of this game this weekend, they blitz a ton. You guys have faced a ton of blitzes this year.
Yeah.
How prepared do you feel Josh Allen is for a matchup? If you go back to last year and what Wink was able to do in that game, we talked a lot about it then. How prepared is he for, with what he's seen this year?
Well, we'll have our work cut out for us. We'll prepare this week like we normally do. What happened last year or last week, I mean, you take some experiences from that and you grow from it, but it's really what we do this week, just like it's been. Obviously, it's one of the best defense, if not the best defense in the National Football League, both scheme-wise and player-wise, the way they take the ball away in terms of, creating fumbles and getting their hands on it. And then, the players that they have and the scheme that they utilize, this is it's a Baltimore Raven defense. They're really good. It's a challenging team to prepare for in a lot of regards. And, we're going to have our work cut out for us.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Hey, Brian, Heather Prusak here. I left my Hamburg Bulldogs sweatshirt up in the closet today.
Okay.
So.
Oh, no. You gotta be consistent, Heather.
I know, but I can't wear the same thing every, Zoom. I got to mix it up here.
That's what my wife tells me all the time. Don't wear the same thing every day.
What do you make of Gabriel Davis's performance against the Colts? Those, toe drag, swag kind of catches there. What do you make of what he was able to do? It seemed like the moment in the game wasn't too big for him.
Yeah, a lot of hard work that goes into it. And then, you go out there and you do that. It really stems back all the way to training camp. And he's grown since he's been here, and that's our job, is to try to develop younger players to help us later on in the year. And that's what we try to do, and give all the credit to Gabe for going out there and improving each week and, being ready when his number's called. Obviously there's a lot of balls that go to a lot of different guys on our football team, and you really got to do a good job mentally staying into it as a wide receiver or as a tight end or as a running back in the passing game. If you're not getting many touches when your opportunities there, you got to make them, and he's made them for us. He's done that on a consistent basis. I'd say the last half of the year, and that's always the deal when you get these young players coming in early in the season. Is maybe they lack a little bit of experience or anything like that, but Gabe's really smart. He's improved throughout the year. That's our job, is to help improve him, but give all the credit to him. And I'm glad he's on our football team.
And when you look at the running back situation with Zach Moss now out, how are you guys going to go about, filling his shoes, whether it's maybe calling up a guy from the practice squad or, just what do you make of that?
Yeah, that's why we got those guys on our team. I know I spoke to you guys about that at the, beginning of the season, toward the end of training camp. And, you keep the players on your team that you think can help you. Maybe they're not active one week or they're on a practice squad, but everybody in this organization is here for a reason. That's to help us win. And when your number's called, we expect you to be ready to go. And, that's what we'll expect this week, whoever that may be.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Heather.
Yes, Brian. Good afternoon. George Radney, Challenger Community News. How are you doing today?
Good, George. What's up?
Hey, I wondered, Isaiah McKenzie, was there just wasn't a right situation to utilize him in the game against the Colts? Because it seemed like he didn't get any touches this week.
Yeah, I mean, Cole was back, and, we had some different personnel packages. Each week, this, I've told you each week could be a little bit different. Last week is what it was. And we have confidence in Isaiah when his number's called, we expect him to be ready to go. Whether it's 3 plays, 20 plays, but you can only put 5 skilled players out there, George, and used those 4 receivers a bunch: Gabe, Cole, Diggs, and Smoke, and then running backs filled in, tight ends filled in. What it is this week, we're working on that right now.
All right, and last but not least, on those keepers by Josh Allen late in the game, was that by design, or was he had the option to hand off, or he just decided to? Was that him deciding?
I think it was probably a. Sorry to interrupt you. No, it was a mix.
Oh, no.
It was a mix of Look, there's a lot of ways to utilize our quarterback. Because he's a pretty special player. Some of them could be design runs. Some of them are RPOs. Some of them are zone reads. You can really try to open up the playbook however you need to open it up. We felt good about doing that last game. We hadn't done it a little bit there at the end of the season. We're in the process of looking at these guys and seeing, how to utilize them. I know they have a guy on their side that is a pretty special player that is tough to defend and, has a wide variety of things that they can do. So, we do that every week. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. But, having the ball in our quarterback's hands is not a bad thing for us.
All right. Thank you very much, and good luck this coming week.
Thanks, George.
Coach Daboll, Mookie Hawkins, Waffle Sports 1080. How you doing today, sir?
Hey, Mook. Best up.
Yeah. Hey. How important it is, normally you guys are one of the best at average starter position. So how difficult is it when calling plays, when dealing with poor field position to start the game, Coach?
Yeah, it's not necessarily difficult. It's different, though. You have a good job of really studying what they do when you're in a backed up situation, whether it's on the 1, 3, 6, 11, whatever it may be. It's a different situation in the game, just like it's different when you're in the plus territory. So it all comes down to doing a good job executing. But you have a long way to go there, and you get some different defenses. So, just like any situation, Mook, what we'll try to do is, be smart and try to go ahead and go out there and execute the things we need to execute to get moving, though. But you got a long field to operate on. You got to start by getting 1 first down.
Yes, sir. And we all know that the Ravens rank top 5 in man coverage and blitzing. So how important?
They're top 5 in about everything, Luke.
Yeah, right.
Starting with scoring defense. The number 1 thing for a defense.
Yes, sir. So how important is it to keep this team off balance with balance, Coach?
I think it's important to execute the plays we need to execute to try to beat them, whatever that may be. Run, pass, whatever it may be. Playoffs. It's about, it's about executing every week, but you got to do a great job during this time of the year. These games are usually tight. They come down to the wire. You're playing the best teams in the league. The 8 teams there that are playing this week are the 8 best teams left. And they're all good. And your opponent is, deserves to be there. They're there for a reason because they're one of the best in the league. And in this case, they're the top defense that we've played all year. So, that's what the playoffs are, and those are the moments that you live for. Highly competitive individuals, playing in tough games that are meaningful games. And it will be a challenge. So it's a challenge all week to get ready for them. It'll be a challenge on Saturday night. And fortunately, we got a little bit of time here to make sure we're ready to go and prepared for them because they're as difficult as they get preparing for.
Yes, sir, Ray. And I know you'll get the job done, Coach. Good luck this week.
Thanks, Mook.
Brian, John Worrell.
Hey, War.
You brought it up. How busy were you yesterday?
Yeah, and look, I'm focused on getting ready for this game. I appreciate the question, but I'm here to really talk about Baltimore or anything like that. I understand it, but we're moving on to this game here.
Speaking of this game, how valuable was we all build off experience and learn from experience. How validating was it for Josh to be in that type of a tight game and facing that type of a defense, to be able to do what he accomplished in relatively limited time of possession to get the job done? And how much does that allow him to take that next step forward by that experience that he had?
Yeah, I think Josh is really good at playing for that week 4. I mean, getting ready for the game we need to play. Experience is great. Playing well is better. So he's had a lot of different experiences since he's been here in the 3 years. It was good to see our team win. He played a good football game for us and helped contribute in a positive way. I've told you this before. I'm glad he's our quarterback. I just think the world of him, and he's ready to move on to this week. He knows the challenge ahead of us. We've been in good communication today, going through some of the stuff. So we got our work cut out for us.
And lastly, from me, there's going to be a lot of hype in regards to the first matchup of 2018 first-round draft picks, quarterbacks. I know they're not facing each other, but what do you make of just this matchup and how intriguing it might be between actually all 4 quarterbacks are youngsters in the AFC, and just what do you make of that development?
Well, I think that's for you guys to talk about. I know where our focus is going to be is this defense. And I think I can, I don't want to speak for Josh, but I know he'd say the same thing. It's great for the outside world, but, you're sitting here for the last however many hours, since early in the morning watching this defense, and you really don't have anything else on your mind but that.
Fair enough, Brian. All the best to you.
You too, man.
Hey, Brian, it's Kim Jones.
Hi, Kim.
Hi. In looking back at your game, I didn't realize in real time how great Josh's numbers were. And I think it's partly because that's kind of what I've come to expect from a Josh Allen quarterback game. From you, I'm just wondering, where has he made the most strides, either since you've met him or if you'd rather, do a smaller sample of this season? I'm just curious about that.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, he's made strides every year since he's been here. His footwork, his throwing off platform throws, his ability to read defenses, his understanding of our game plan and our plays and the experience he's had in our system. I'll give him a lot of credit. He's worked really hard. That's the type of guy he is, and he continues to do that. He does a good job of operating and running our offense, and we've tried to tailor everything we could do to him and fill in the pieces around him. And, he's going to need to continue to do that.
I'm sorry to add on a follow-up. I think you've had a long couple of days, and I do understand that and respect
that's
it.
Fine.
It can't be easy for a quarterback to gain trust and chemistry with a receiver. How has Josh seemed to do it equally well with a veteran like Diggs and a rookie like Davis?
Well, I just think that goes back to the process of how we try to do things here. We meet collectively a lot with the receivers, the quarterbacks, the tight ends, the running backs, and really have an open forum in there in some of our meetings where there's a lot of dialogue between, those players and Josh and what Josh is seeing. I think everything has to really go through the eyes of a quarterback, and you have to kind of teach those skilled players to look at it the same way. And they have a certain vision as they're getting lined up, and then their positions, and the quarterback's got a big vision. And the more you can communicate and teach them, how the quarterback's seeing it, and you have smart players, which we do credit to Brandon and Joe and Dan and Malik and Terrence and all those guys for bringing them in. We place a premium on having smart guys. There's good dialogue there. There's chemistry. There's a commitment to getting better during practices, during individual periods where they're throwing one-on-one routes. communication, post and pre-practice on the tape. There's a lot that goes into it, and credit those guys. They put it in. They put the time in.
Thanks very much, Brian.
Thank you.
Hey, Brian, Adam Benini.
Hey, Adam.
Hey, I'm sorry to follow up, but Kim raised some interesting points there, as did John before. Specific to like the growth you've seen from Josh, I understand playing great is paramount, but specific to the growth maybe you've seen from him from that wild card loss in Houston last year, where things kind of came apart late in the game. You know, that was a 16-point lead. This was a 14-point lead in this game. To see maybe the intangible, the poise, I guess is what I'm looking for. How much growth from him year to year on the playoff stage have you seen in that area?
Yeah, there's been growth every year with him. But I think you have to show confidence in your quarterback as a play caller. And I have all the confidence in the world. And one game doesn't define one person. He's got a great mindset. He's highly competitive. He's helped us win a lot of games. And he just works to improve in every area of being a quarterback. And give him a lot of credit. He puts a lot of the time and effort and energy into it. And, you know, we try to do our best to help him out. But, you know, he's in his third year. And he understands one game really means nothing until the next game. The next game is the game that you're going to be defined on. So, you know, next game up, you know, we're going to have to play a good game offensively to go out there and play these guys. And I think he's just got the right mindset, a day-to-day, game-to-game mindset. And that's what you need, particularly this time of year. You really got to put that one in the rearview mirror quick, you know, so going back, and I understand the question, but for him going back to think about, you know, last year's playoff game or even last week's playoff game really doesn't do us any good at this point. We're in a go home mentality. And that's what I want all the players to have.
All right. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. You too.
Hi, Brian. Mark Gaughan here.
Hey, Mark.
I just want to ask you about two plays. One, the quarterback draw end of the first half.
Yep.
Seemed like a pretty good call at the time. I don't know how many quarterbacks, though, take it for 16 yards. I mean, what were you thinking of Josh's, I don't know if you would call it vision or his ability to weave and make the most out of that play?
Yeah, you know, we had some time there to try to stick in a run and time out if we needed it. And, you know, we were in that situation. We had plenty of time to, we didn't have to worry about panicking or anything like that, where we had to throw all of them. You know, if we got the right look, you know, usually when you run quarterback runs, you have an extra guy to block for you. Spread them out. And they gave us a good look, and he did a good job of getting through there as he's had since he's been here. You know, putting the ball in his hands is always a good thing.
And then you mentioned off-platform throws. On the last drive, he made a play to the left sideline. The Colts 23 came free as a free blitzer off the edge. That might happen this week. Just, you know, in the press box, what do you think? You see 23, he's got him dead in his sights.
Yeah.
And just talk about that play as you're watching it.
Yeah, I mean, he's done that for us, you know, since he's been here. There's times where he escapes out of the pocket and makes some loose plays. There might be a free runner, but let him go out there and rip it. I just got a lot of confidence in him.
Right.
I think he's got confidence in playing in our system, and you know, it's not always going to be perfect. We're going to have to. You know, he's made some really good plays for us, and you know, we're just trying to get better week to week and play our best football at this time of year. And it's hard to do that because of the teams you're playing. You know, they're usually going to be close games. They're going to be tough, contested plays. And, you know, again, I can't say enough about how good this defense is we're about to play.
Brian?
Hey, Brian, how you doing, man?
Hey, Sal. How are you?
I'm good. I'm sorry if this has been asked. I had to take Morty to the vet, so I've been on and off this call. But
what happened?
He's a big boy. You know, he's got some spinal issues going on. I think he might have took the disc again. But gave him some meds, and he looks like he'll be all right.
All right. Sorry to hear that.
I appreciate you asking, though. But curious your emotions following the win on Saturday, given your ties to the city, given the fact that, I mean, you were here the last time. There, you've seen so much of this franchise. You've seen it at its top. What were your like as you saw it kind of get back to that point?
Yeah, it was just ecstatic that we got a win. These are hard to come by. I was thinking about the 26th one I've been part of in terms of the postseason. They're hard. They're just happy for the players and the staff. First and foremost, for all the work that they put into it, particularly the players and the assistant coaches. And then, with the fan base there, it was awesome. And you wouldn't think it was 6,700. It was a lot louder than that. They were huge. And you wish you could have the whole thing going there because, these guys, these people around here have waited a long time for a competitive team. And, we're working to try to give it to them. But, to be part of this community, to grow up here, to understand that the Buffalo Bills mean a lot to this area. It's important. And that's testament to the people that came out and all the people that were, had their parties going or watching on television. Just an awesome football town, man. It's an awesome football town.
It's cool. I think they blocked off all of Chippewa Street for some people.
Yeah, wild. I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of places. But it's important. This place means a lot to all of us here. I know the players and the coaches have a great appreciation for the fan base and the people that love this team. We do everything we can do to try to go out there and put a good product on the field and prepare the right way. And, it's pretty cool when you can do that for a city, and the city, grabs a hold of you like that. It's not surprising. I've seen it for my entire life here.
That's nice, man. And I'm imagining your phone might have blown up a bit after the game with friends and family in town.
Yeah. You'd be right on with that.
Either way, appreciate your time, Brian.
Thanks, Sal.
All right, that's all for today. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.